We are in unprecedented territory right now. Bitcoin has signaled the start of a bull market. And in fact, just as of yesterday, Bitcoin made new all-time highs, something that has never happened before. One, peak bull season, and two, a halvening. First thing that comes to mind, ETFs. We have Bitcoin ETFs approved, and in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before we crowbar our way into Ethereum ETF approvals. This means that we get to front run trillions of dollars getting allocated to an industry that we've been in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for like the last 3 years, if not more. This is one of the most insane setups that I've ever seen. That's over $36.7 trillion potentially. So, since most crypto profits rotate ultimately back into Bitcoin, let's take a look at some ordinals that have 10 to 100x upside potential. There are levels to this. I'm gonna put into 3 categories: the blue chips class, S-class, and degen class. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, so as always, please DYOR. The current blue chips at this point are pretty obvious. Going by the 30-day total volume, you've got Node Monks, Quantum Cats, Bitcoin Puppets, Nat Cats, OMB, and Bitcoin Frogs. The reason that I skipped over RSIC Meta Protocol is because this is a new protocol that's going to be launching, and so we have yet to see how this plays out after the launch. Right now, a lot of this is speculation leading up to the launch of the Runes protocol. And since we're just getting started, there's definitely going to be more room for other blue chip contenders later on in the run. Just like on ETH bull run last cycle, we had Azuki and Moonbirds coming in much later after Punks and Bored Apes. Also, BitO put together a really nice comparison to put everything into perspective in case you're thinking, wow, these numbers are insane. Here are the floor prices of some of the top collections on Ethereum and Bitcoin at their all-time highs. You had Bored Apes, which at its peak was 153.7 ETH. That amounts to around 8.3 Bitcoin. Punks, 125 ETH or 6.9 Bitcoin. Mutant Apes, 40 ETH. Moonbirds, 38.5. Azuki, 31.8. Doodles, Pudgy Penguins, Clonex, and so on. And over here on the ordinal side, you can see that things have not really fully peaked yet. As of recording, the only collection listed here that has passed the 1 Bitcoin floor is OMB or Ordinal Maxi Biz. Not even Node Monks has crossed it yet, and they got really, really close the last few days. So there is a lot of room here, a lot of upside potential. That's why I put this class in the 10x category, but who knows, bull runs are face melting and they can be known for unreasonable numbers. Okay, moving on. Next up is the S-class or special class. This one carries a little bit more risk. One of the buzziest words right now, aside from the recent explosion of DMTs and NATs, is runes. What are runes? So Casey Rodemore, the creator of Bitcoin Ordinals, is now developing runes, which he describes as a fungible token protocol on Bitcoin. In contrast to Bitcoin inscriptions, which are non-fungible or essentially NFT, runes will be fungible, sort of like ERC20s going live at the halving. Runes operations, the mint, transfer equivalents, etc., do not create leftover useless UTXOs or unspent transaction outputs like BRC20s do. So it's far more efficient than the BRC20s that have been really taxing on nodes, and as of right now has been sort of the token market of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Since pre-mining is possible and speculation will cause everyone to try to be the first and front run each other, Casey doesn't want it to go to a handful of VCs or concentrated in the hands of a few people. To counteract it, Casey's leaning towards hard coding the first 10 runes of the protocol. He said that it'll be an open mint and he won't have early allocation and will have to pay transaction fees just like everybody else. When he initially announced this caused a massive around 50% dump of RSIC, but it's almost fully recovered since because degen's gonna degen. If you want to watch Casey's podcast where he talks about this in more detail and in cosplay, I have the link in description below. Enjoy. Things to know as well: there are several projects claiming to be mining runes tokens for their ordinal holders, and there's really too many to name, so definitely DYOR before you buy. Some of the bigger, more popular ones are, of course, Arctic and the Arctic Boosters, Rune Guardians, Rune Mania Minor. Also gaining traction in the S-Class are generative art ordinals. This makes sense because the generative art sector did extremely well in the peak of the last run when art blocks was in its heydays. And so everyone is looking for the next squiggle of the king chain. I imagine some of the heavy hitter artists from ETH last cycle will be swinging their audiences over to ordinals sooner or later. There will also be new ones that have prioritized Bitcoin art first. And right now there's a few on my radar. I made a Twitter thread on some of the generative art pieces I've seen gaining steam recently. No particular order, but you have hash streams, which are long form generative art exploring essence of hash power. It's a recursive inscription as well, and there's only about 500 pieces. I personally think these look really cool, and they sort of remind me of pigments from art blocks. The other one is called Bit Blocks by Billy Resty, and the art is on-chain. It's a user-generated code-based art using recursion to source data from other inscriptions by Billy Resty. For example, let's just take this one. You can see under the recursive submodules that this was the original inscription that the bit blocks was created from, was generated from. You can see the resemblance in the color patterns. So these are pretty cool. They have pumped recently, but they were really cheap for a while. Next up, you have Bitglyphs by Mr. F Was Here. This is also on-chain as well. It is the first fully on-chain generative art in Bitcoin, including gen art, source code, metadata, and provenance. Now, the crazy thing about this collection is it's a slightly larger supply of 1,000, but there was a massive squeeze in price. You went from 0.009 to a peak of about 0.289 in just a week or so. That's absolutely insane. There's a few more in here. I'm not going to go through all of them individually, but I'll put the link to this thread in the description below if you want to check it out on your own. And last but not least, we have our Degen plays. A little more fun, a lot more gamble. These are going to be your hot and fast memes, your derivatives. These are more of like your PNBs, your moggers, it could be Pepe anythings. Pepe is a huge meme. Some of the mints that I am looking forward to, I probably mentioned them before, but some of the new upcoming mints, which could fall really into any of these categories, really hyped projects that have a lot of great marketing, a lot of good collaborations, expansive community. One of them being Ink on BTC. They started their channel last December, and it's going to be a 10K collection. They first started with honoraries that really got the attention of the market by gifting ones to influencers in the space. The mint details have not been announced yet, so definitely keep an eye out for that. The other one that I've seen very similar to Ink on BTC, but the female version is Mikan. This is another anime style, but all female characters. It's going to be a smaller collection of 3333 hand-drawn idols. Mint details TBD. Now for a hyped DMT mint. This one is a redacted DMT, just so that no one can front run, but they are giving whitelist priority to Babbies, Bitcoin Babby holders. This one is recursive. It's using P5J's Pixel by an OG BTC artist. And they also have a whitelist system for holders of art for the people. The mint date and price is TBD as well. Supply is supposed to be around 10,000. This one recently came on my radar. It's called Apostles of Greed, but there's no official Twitter handle for the collection. It's being completely run by this personal Twitter handle. So they have a previous Genesis collection of only 104. This one is being hyped because the floor has been holding pretty well for a while. Mint price unknown, but these are all on palindrome sats, one of the rare sat categories. It's a first come first serve. There's different phases. Definitely go check out his Twitter. The mint is going to be 0.00888 Bitcoin, launching on Magic Eden March 11th. There's also a little bit more of a degen mint called Bitcoin Monkeys. This one is claiming to be 100 NFTs that are sub 20K. Remember, lower inscription numbers are usually more valuable, and they seem to still be giving out whitelists, so you still have time. The best part about it is that it's going to be a free mint. They don't pull a node monks on us. It's going to be a free mint. And honestly, this last one is so degen, I don't even want to put on my channel, but it has been really hyped, and they've done a lot of collaborations with at least half of the discords that I'm in, and I'm in a lot of discords. So it may or may not amount to anything, but if it's a cheap mint, it might be worth it. Welcome to the bull run. That's it for this video. Hope you liked it. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.